Hey guys, welcome back to Mauler TV. Mauler JM here with you, and we're coming back with a special episode of Ark Survive the Ark, the series. I know the last episode was a little bit short, so I wanted to give you some additional content this week. Also, if you haven't noticed, in the description section on the page is the schedule. Every Wednesday we're going to do this series, Survive the Ark. On Saturday we're going to do Get a Clue, which is tips and tricks for Primitive Plus. Check those out, guys. And then on Sunday we're going to do something random. I don't know what happens during the week. It could be anything. It could be this game. It could be any others. But I can tell you one thing. It's going to be entertaining and you're going to want to check it out. I'm excited to bring it to you too. Now, I told you last time that this journey was not an easy one. We fought those dragonflies and barely made it. This Dilo wanted to eat my face and then brought a bunch of his friends. So unfortunately, it didn't work out too well for us and we died pretty well right out of the swamp. Didn't really take long at all. Now, if you haven't died to this point and you don't know, you can actually get all of your gear that you had on your body back by going and finding your body wherever it was killed. There'll either be a bag there or your body, unless it was eaten, will be available to you and you can get your gear back. So that's what I decided to do, but unfortunately I spawned into this pit of death with capros. Now, capros are crocodile-looking creatures. Dangerous thing about them, they can take you off of tames. So be careful if you see those things around. I spawned back into a nest of Dilos. Now, similar to the last episode or last encounter we had with these guys, it didn't last long. It's hard to survive when you only have fists. They're fists of steel, but they're only fists, and we die again. So, you know, hey, this stuff happens. It's one of the parts of Ark. You know, you will die occasionally. Don't get too frustrated. It's part of the game. There's going to be better highs than there are going to be lows in this game, and I'm going to show you a lot of those as we get into this Primitive Plus stuff here in the near future. Now, our technology is pretty horrible. We have stone tools. We are building with thatch, so it's not hard to get reestablished when you die. I decide hightail it out of there. There's no way I'm going back for my stuff, and I decide I'm going to go ahead and build a base in this area. It looks pretty nice, but the problem is always around the next corner. You never know what's coming. And so if you're out building at night and you hear footsteps, it's probably not going to end up well for you. Now, this guy is a Carno. I know it's hard to see because it was nighttime, but these things look like T-Rexes. They're a little bit smaller. They're just as dangerous when you're a low level like I am. So make sure you steer clear of them. They will, yeah, well, you see what they did to me right there. Pretty much got me frustrated to the point where I said, I'm not going back for my body. I know we're going to move to the north. That's my plan. We want to get into the snow biome and get into, you know, the north area. I think that's appropriate for a lady named Arya. So I spawn as far north as I can, and I start building this little base on this little area just south of Herbivore Island. If you look at your map, it's on the northeast of your map. Pretty decent area, and there's some good tames around. You may be wondering or asking or throwing things at the screen at this point, Mauler, why are you still building in thatch? Are you a caveman? Well, the answer to that is yes, but in regard to the game, I wanted to be able to have Engram points available to unlock Primitive Plus stuff for you guys, so I'm going to build in thatch until it's absolutely necessary to move on to wood. One of the things that you're going to notice as you unlock things in your Engram list is a mortar and pestle. Get this thing unlocked early on, guys. It's going to help you. Also unlock spark powder and narcotics to go with it. You'll notice that you're going to need hide in order to make the mortar and pestle. So that's what I was doing. I killed that Dilo, but it didn't give me enough, so I needed some more. So I'm out here exploring, and I come across this. It's a little pillar with a little box right next to it. These are explorer notes. Now, these are available on the island as well as on Scorched. They are not available on Center yet. Hopefully in the future, we'll see what happens. But we got a Rockwell record. I've never really collected these. I don't play a lot on the island, so I'm not sure what they do, but they go into this little menu area and, you know, you can fill them up. We need 3 more Rockwell records, so we'll have to keep our eyes open for those in the near future when we're running around exploring stuff. But we still need hide in order to make the mortar and pestle. And I'm going to show you a little trick. These things are going to run away from you when you attack them. So try to hit them into something so they can't run across the map. The last thing you want to do is chase these things for a mile, run out of stamina, and then them get away. And you wasted all that time and effort. So I get them into this rock, which is pretty nice, and go ahead and harvest the hide. If I didn't say it up until this point, if you're using the pickaxe, it's going to get you more meat. If you're using the hatchet, it's going to get you more hide. So I needed hide in this case, so I go ahead and harvest the rest of this dead body with my hatchet and get a bunch of hide, and now I can make the mortar and pestle. So I decided to go back to the base because this is going to be a real key to you guys moving forward. Making some of the things that are available to you in the mortar and pestle get you great levels, get you great experience. So you want to go ahead and make a ton of them. Jump into your crafting menu, go ahead and make your mortar and pestle and throw it down somewhere in your base. For me, I like to put it next to my campfire. It makes it easy for me to transfer stuff back and forth or go to different items. I like to keep all my crafting things in one little area so I don't have to go too far in order to build different things as I'm moving, into the future. Now you'll notice in the actual mortar and pestle that you have narcotics and spark powder unlocked. Now, spark powder takes flint and stone. You should have a ton of this because you've been collecting materials the whole time, breaking rocks and knocking down trees. So you should be able to make a bunch of spark powder. Make this stuff up. It's actually really good. It's a step up from wood because it lasts a little bit longer. It burns a little bit hotter. Now, you'll also notice narcotics. It's going to take 2 items. Narco berries, which you should have come across a ton already when you're going through the bushes collecting berries. The other thing it takes is spoiled meat. Now you may ask, well, what is spoiled meat? Well, everything spoils. Every type of food is going to spoil in this game. So go get yourself some meat, and you'll notice there'll be a timer on the stack of meat that you have in your inventory. Typically, it's about 25 minutes or so. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I'm going to show you a little trick on how to actually spoil a bunch of meat at the same time. So I mentioned that everything has a spoil timer. If it's in a stack of 20, it only spoils 1 piece at a time. If you tap the X button while you're sitting on a stack of meat, it turns it into stacks of 1. They're going to actually spoil at the same time. So you'll get 20 pieces of meat or how many ever you have, and they'll spoil at the same time. That's going to be an easy way for you to get spoiled meat really quickly. Throw it into your mortar and pestle. Make yourself a bunch of narcotics. You're going to make enough narcotics, it's going to get you to level 15 in a heartbeat, and Primitive Plus is open to us. Super excited about this. First thing you're going to notice, fish trap and fish bait. We're going to look at that in the future. Fish bait takes poultry. That's an interesting thing that we'll take a look at later. Now, you also will see lumber. Now, it's pretty tempting to unlock it. Lumber's pretty cool to build with, but don't unlock it yet, guys. You need a lumber station and the wood planks in order to even use it, and it takes a lot of engrams, and we want to get ourselves some basics first. So what I decided I'm going to do is we're going to get a big campfire. I'm going to show you how that works here momentarily, but this is a nice step up from the basic campfire that you can get early on. The other thing I'm going to unlock is this deadfall trap. I've never used deadfall traps, but heck, if we can get us some easy kills early on, get some easy food, easy meat and some easy hide, we might as well try it out. So we'll try that out in the next episode. The other thing I want to unlock is the preserving campfire. This thing is absolutely key to surviving in the Ark. It's going to allow you to preserve food for longer, and we need that. We don't want to go out and look for berries every day, every time we're hungry. So make those things up, run around, get them into your base like I did, and then we'll show you what the inventories look like, why this is special. The big campfire, you'll notice, has 6 slots available to you. You can put a bunch of meat and cook it in there all at the same time without having to continuously put more and more in there. It's a pain in the butt to do that. The big campfire kind of fixes that problem. The other thing is the preserving campfire. You'll notice in your inventory, it might take 3 minutes for a berry to spoil. In the preserving campfire, it takes 35 minutes. So it extends the time on any of your perishable items. It's really important to have. And it takes spark powder, so make sure you have it unlocked and make a bunch of this, because you don't want to go offline and have all your food spoil while you're away. So get yourself your preserving campfire and get that thing working. The other thing, as I mentioned before, use the narcotics. You're going to want a lot of narcotics because in the future, we need to have some friends. We're getting lonely out here by ourselves, and we need to tame some animals, and we're going to do that in the next episode, and I'm excited to show you guys how to do that. We're going to need a lot of narcotics for it, though, so make sure you get yourself a bunch. Other thing, the radial menu, you notice I go into third person occasionally, hit the select button, and it gives you a bunch of different options. I hope this really helps you guys get a little bit more established, helps you get to that next level on this Ark crazy primitive world we're in. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, and leave those comments. Thanks, guys. See you next time.